Hello everyone, welcome back. So in the Vascular Anastomosis course, this will be fourth video, and in this video we will showcase and demonstrate the continuous arterial anastomosis technique in a PTFE graft. And as I said earlier, we will also showcase or try to showcase all these steps in porcine specimen also, so stay tuned. So the points which we have already discussed in previous three parts or the theoretical rationale how to do suturing, so we will not go through all the nitty-gritty details, and it is highly desired and requested that viewers please watch all those videos before joining us here if you have not watched already the three foundation videos before this video. Please read the detailed disclaimer in description of this video, and these videos are meant for education purpose and information only, and it's not a substitute for professional advice and professional training. For an exclusive and early access to our premium high definition content, viewers can download our app available for Android and iOS or can join the channel membership. The link for everything is given in the description of this video. So I'll not waste much time in the things or point we have already discussed, the various anastomotic technique, the requirements of the fine instrument, the castroviso, the rider, the briefly the theoretical rationale, the different type of technique, continuous versus interrupted, the advantage and disadvantage of one over the other. We have already discussed in a length, and the relevant good articles I have already discussed. So do watch them. Do watch the previous video. Read the relevant articles to have a comprehensive understanding of the this arterial anastomosis technique. So now let's start with part 4 of this course. So as I said, in this video, we will showcase how to do the arterial anastomosis with continuous suture technique. We have modified this technique a little bit, and this may be a little bit different from the techniques you already seen or learned from your teachers, and I feel this is also one good technique, and if you like it, it may be part of your armamentarium. So we always start with the double arm suture. This is a 5-0 for the demonstration purpose, otherwise it will be 6-0 in real life or 7-0, 8-0 depending on the caliber of vessel. So B from the farther end, that is 12 o'clock, and I came inside out on both the end. So both my needles are now outside the afferent and efferent limb. So for the understanding purpose, the graft on your right side is the afferent and graft on the left side will be your efferent. So once my sutures are outside, so the graft on my right hand, if I am sewing with the right hand, is a forward hand. So I bring that needle towards the efferent and I start. So now my needle is outside from the afferent. So again I'll come outside in the efferent. Simple technique, friends, nothing peculiar. It is just a matter of understanding, and as you will practice 2-3 times, you will understand it better. The basic tenets of safe arterial anastomosis: not to touch the intima, always hold the this adventitia you have to follow. So one end we have kept with the help of some kind of a rubber shot, and for this technique, as I have discussed, you need comparatively a better assistance or expert assistance, otherwise these can get intermingled, and that is only one of the disadvantages, that if you have a problem in one bite or there is a knotting, then you have to take the whole suturing sequence, you have to repeat. So one end somebody has to keep the other end under little tension, and I keep going inside out from the afferent and outside in the efferent. Afferent I am going inside out, and efferent I am going outside in. So this inside out and outside in, this sequence you have to repeat and you have to understand, so that you can do a effective arterial anastomosis. If somebody keeps the loop under little bit tension, then there are lesser chance of entanglement, as I am doing it here alone. So otherwise you have to tell one of your assistant or junior resident to keep the other end under little bit tension, so that you can do it easily. So the benefit here is that you are taking all the sutures in a speedy manner. All the sutures are under vision, and you can complete this anastomosis comparatively in a lesser time, where the time is essence like this threatened limb, or you want to reduce the warm ischemia time. So then this technique is more helpful. And again, you are not tying the knots after every sutures, and so the difficulty of tying the knot in the posterior wall, it is saved. But again, it has to be healthy wall, because as I discussed in the theoretical part, if you fail at one point, the whole suture line may fail, and then you may have to do the whole anastomosis again. So this is a real-time video. I'm repeating the sequence. So inside out, outside in. Then I started from the outside, and I leave the needle outside. So this is my last bite, and you simply pull, apply little bit of traction. This is a monofilament suture. Don't apply too much traction, and it will beautifully oppose. So we have modified this technique to avoid the bursting effect. So you can here see that we have taken more bites in compared with lesser time. There's a good basically apposition. So what are the benefits of this technique? So the first advantage is this suture technique is really helpful when you are dealing in a time critical situation like trauma surgery. You are dealing with a limb salvage, vascular injury repair, or rapid revascularization essential like transplant surgery to reduce the warm ischemia time. Second will be in small to medium size caliber arteries, especially when the lumen needs to be preserved with minimal irregularities. So you're not tying multiple knots. So it provides smooth intimal approximation, lowering turbulence and a risk of thrombosis. Third advantage or the benefit of this technique is while you are dealing with the synthetic grafts like PTFE or Dacron, the continuous suture provides better seal against bleeding compared to the interrupter suture. So it achieves better lumen to lumen apposition while you using the synthetic graft. Again, basically it avoids any kind of any stepping because of the multiple interrupted bites. So especially useful in high flow vessels like carotid, renal, or ilex, and prevents stepwise gaps that may occur with the interrupted suture, and there is the uniform tension along the anastomosis. And once you master this technique, you will realize that it is comparatively easy. You are not forced to tie the knots in dark, and technically once you start running, it is simple: inside out, outside in, inside out, outside in sequence. So comparatively easier to follow. What are the cautions and what are the situation when this suture technique is to be avoided? When you're dealing the fragile or diseased arteries, atherosclerotic vessels, where it can break or give through, inflamed. So interrupted suture is safer as it allows, basically as I discussed, localized adjustment. You can take more bite in the next suture. You can always correct your mistakes in the next suture. And if you're not being careful while using the continuous suture technique, there can be bursting effect which can lead to the narrowing of the luma, and there can be turbulence that can lead to the thrombosis. So once your posterior layer suture, continuous suture is completed, so there are different ways, different techniques. Now our technique is that now we start with the fresh suture, and again the same. So I'm holding the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock sutures in some vascular clamps or some fine mosquitoes with the rubber shots, so that it doesn't break. And now I'm taking a fresh suture. Again, I'll start from the farther end, that will be 12 o'clock. And I have already discussed while showing the posterior layer, we always try to come more towards the anterior layer, so that you are doing all the anastomosis in the under vision. So I came inside out from the left side, that is the efferent vessel, and similarly I'll come inside out from the afferent vessel, so that both my needles are outside. Again, viewers has to note that I have not applied any knot and the intersuture distance remains 2 mm. Another technique will be that we tie the knot and then we can tie complete the whole suture, this anastomosis with the one suture. But this two suture technique I feel is better. Viewer discretion is required. You can follow both. You can try both the technique, and whichever is you feel comfortable with, you can follow. And so I have kept one end, that is the farther end, basically the proximal end, that is toward the right side on the, with the help of a rubber shot with some gauze applied. So two ends are kept, the farther end are kept on the upper part of the screen. And now again, similar in the similar sequence, friends, I'll start from outside in and inside out. In the suture distance will remain 2 mm, and the bite from the end will be 2 to 3 mm depending on the caliber of the vessel. So there is always a temptation to take the whole bite in one sequence. That can lead to basically you can take the other wall, the posterior wall in the suture. So try not to do or never do that, and practice the way you will be doing in a real life. So I mean, practice, and that will make you perfect. Do remember my saying that those who practice more on these specimens and those who practice more during the peacetime, they will bleed less during the war or in the operation theater. How to handle these fine needles, you have to practice the castrobizo, the riders, the fine vascular forceps. Everything is essential. Clearing the adventitia 3-4 mm. The adventitia should never be coming inside the lumen, otherwise it's highly thrombogenic. And in a similar way, we have reached the other end. Now I will tighten the upper end. Okay, like this. So once you have reached the other end, so I mean, you have to see that the other end, if it is on the proximal part, then you have to end it on the distal part. So now you just, one of my assistant will hold the 12 o'clock sutures. There are two sutures gently under tension, and I am tying the knot. You will release the efferent clamp first before tying the knots. And you can flush this lumen with the you have to flush the lumen with the HEPS line, and so that you clear all the clots and debris. Then you release the afferent flow so that everything comes out, and then you start tying. So do remember that here I may not be able to demonstrate fully, but somebody has to hold the other two sutures, otherwise they will keep on sliding, and you will not be able to apply the knot. So like here, you have to hold these sutures under tension, 6 to 8 knots under continuous jet of water. And in a similar way, we will tie the other sutures. So as already discussed and emphasized, that you don't need this air knotting, because there is no need of the growth factor, and you tie these anastomosis, tie these sutures at 12 o'clock. Again, 6 to 8 knots under continuous jet of water. Be gentle. There should not be too much traction at these ends, and your anastomosis is complete. So I mean, see, you can easily complete the anastomosis in maybe 10 minutes in average size caliber vessels. Look how beautifully it has got opposed. You have taken good bites. It's hemostatic, and there is no bursting effect. Points: that clearing the adventitia 3 to 4 mm, holding the vessel gently, and you have to practice more, keep practicing, sweat more in peace, and so that you have a better outcome. And don't forget to check out the previous videos in this series, type part 1, part 2, part 3, and the whole series is available as a course on our app and also on our YouTube under the premium membership. So viewers are requested to check out those links to have an exclusive and early access to our premium high definition content. So with that, Friends, we have reached the end of these videos. I'm sharing some of these basically thumbnails of the previous videos. Viewers are encouraged to check them all. I feel they can be a good addition to your knowledge. So thank you very much, friends. I hope we were able to add some new insight to your knowledge. Thank you very much. Happy learning.